Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Altcoin Everything News and Research. You pick a coin. The purpose of this channel is to study and research this new innovation that's hit us with the cryptocurrency. And all the viewers can pick a coin. I'll do the research. I spend hours researching coins, and I will share this research with you. So thank you for tuning in, and I want to thank all of my subscribers. I would also like to thank everyone that's been viewing. This is our third show. It's February the 7th. And I would like to thank most of all Captain James for his comments, and we appreciate his support. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the meetings from yesterday. We're going to go over a couple things. I think that meeting was so important that it deserves another day of discussion. And then we'll get more into the coins that are going to be researched and the upcoming coin that will be researched in the next couple of days that I'll be sharing with everyone. So getting to the getting to the Senate meeting, the SEC meeting on cryptocurrency yesterday. Like I said, I think that was a huge deal, and I think it's worth talking about some more. There was a lot said, and words are powerful, and they were very careful with their words. So I decided to listen to it again and go through it, and I picked up a couple of more things and some key points, and I still see a very positive future and outlook for Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, all the altcoins, and the innovation that the blockchain is going to bring. And I'm going to speak about a couple of things. The first one will be the three ways the SEC and basically the government looks at cryptocurrency, and then the three uses for cryptocurrency that they see already taking place and that they foresee for the future. The first thing I'm going to talk about, in the first way that they feel cryptos are going to be a big part of the future, and how they see it is through distributed ledgers, basically having a account of transactions. And this will be used with banks, businesses, people, one-on-one, through smart contracts and through exchanging of the coins to settle these contracts. And this could be purchasing a business, purchasing a home, purchasing property, consulting fees. It could be anything that we pay for today. These transactions can be done on the blockchain, done with coins, and verified by distributed ledger. That way it's proven, can't be changed, and everybody knows what went on with the transaction, who's involved. And then, the second way that they talked about cryptocurrencies, and this is kind of what they fear and kind of the big thing that's going to bring the most regulation, is the replacing it or using it as the dollar. And it's going to, with that being done, they understand that it will eliminate fees with these bank transactions and things like that, but they still have a great fear that it will basically cause a disruption in the U.S. economy and the world economy. So they're being very careful about how they speak on this topic and discussing what they're going to do to basically maintain control. So for those of us who, don't want them to have control or less control, that's something that's going to have to be worked out, and I feel negotiated, because the laws aren't in place, and the laws will have to be created by the lawmakers, and we have to influence our lawmakers and tell them what laws we want in place. So it's going to be a battle. That's why I want people to get educated and research and understand what's going on, because our voice is going to have to be heard, and we're going to have to communicate with our lawmakers when they start making these decisions on how to handle cryptocurrency. And the big thing is, people are tired of inflation. They're tired of depending on their government making all the right choices. to secure the value of their wealth, and depending on banks to have to exchange and do everything that needs to be done with their value and their wealth. So it's going to be something that we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. And like I said, be involved and participate in the whole process. So get educated, do your research, watch this, subscribe to this show, because I plan on staying involved and doing that. And the third big thing that the SEC was looking at with cryptos is ICOs, and how it's an option other than a business on the stock market doing their initial offering, their IPOs, where they raise money and funds to become a publicly traded company. And ICOs are initial coin offerings, where basically the coins are doing the same thing. And that's a problem for the SEC and the government, because there's certain regulations and standards that must be followed. And none of these coins up to this date have followed any of these regulations. So that's concerning in a sense that, you know, there's protection for us when they are under these regulations, but we don't want them under these regulations if it's going to hinder us from pursuing this technology and using it the way that we want to use it. So that's something big they're looking at, you know, and they're comparing a coin to a stock certificate, and they're saying that it should be handled in the same way as far as registering. So those are the three big things that the SEC is looking at, and three things that we need to stay aware of. And when it comes to trading, this is going to influence what coins have value, what have the potential to increase in value. Because the way I see it, if the coins are in line with what the governments kind of want done, and in line with the progression that the governments are making, these are the coins that are going to have the biggest chance for success. And these would be the coins that you want to invest in. So understanding what the SEC is looking at and what they're attempting to do and monitor and control is very important in regards to making decisions as far as your investments and what coins that you purchase. And okay, the next three things that I'm going to talk about are the three uses for Bitcoin. And they discussed that in depth, and the three major ways that they see Bitcoin being used. And when I say Bitcoin, I'm speaking of Bitcoin with the big B as the Bitcoin network. The little b Bitcoin is the coin itself. So I'm speaking of Bitcoin with the big B as everything involved with the technology that has developed from it. So that means all the altcoins, the blockchain, everything that it's dealing with. And they see it being, number one, medium for exchange. So that places it as a currency, places it under their rule and regulations. So that's what they're going to be basing their decisions on to see how to regulate it. So a medium of exchange, basically we all know that, and we don't see it every day, but there are places around the world that you got Bitcoin ATMs, you got places that accept it, you got places that accept the other coins and currencies. You know, other coins have built huge networks like Dash throughout the world and United States, where you could use your Dash tokens to purchase different items or whatever these stores or whoever signed up and registered with Dash are exchanging it for. And so with Bitcoin and with all the tokens, they could be used in this way. Which coin is going to be the most efficient, the best coin to use in this way as a medium of exchange, far as cheaper transaction fees, the speed at which it's transacted, the reliability of the network and the blockchain that is transacted on. All of those things are going to be a factor of which coins stand out and win the race for the best medium of exchange. So that's why we want to pay attention to this as well, like the SEC is, to see who's going to prevail as the top medium of exchanges. And I see it being just like, you could look at it as the U.S. system. We have hundreds, 50s, 20s, 10s, $5 bills. Then we got change, quarters, nickels, dimes, pennies, 50-cent pieces, whatever you want to say, as far as how we coordinate our funds and how we circulate them amongst each other. It'll be a similar fashion when it comes to cryptocurrency, in that you will interact with these coins in the same way, and some of those will hold value that you look at in the same way as you do the current U.S. money. So like a penny may be a Dogecoin, a dime may be a Ripple, a quarter may be Litecoin, or a dollar is, Ethereum. $100 bill, a big face, that is Bitcoin. So those are ways that we could look at it, and we know that everybody's not spending and breaking hundreds every day on a random basis. We exchanging dollars, tens, fives, and that's how it'd be in regards to how we exchange these currencies, as far as the ones that are being used as a medium of exchange. And then you got coins that will be used. The number two way the SEC is looking at is means of account. So basically, they will represent a certain amount of funds and represent certain transactions and exchanges of these funds for maybe companies or whoever it may be. And they will use, say, a Litecoin to represent so much of wealth or value. And it would be used to account for the amount of value that they have. And there's other implications to that as well. But this also puts it under the being, a currency which is regulated by the federal government, the SEC, and all of those in regards to trade and so forth. So when it's a means of account, the number two way, that's also going to dictate which coins are going to prevail, which ones are following the rules that these companies will have to follow to use these coins as means of account. And the third way is a store of value, a commodity, a asset, or however you want to look at it, because it can be used to purchase and with the hope of it increasing in value, similar to gold and other investments that are made. And so the biggest store of value that I see and that I feel will never change will always be Bitcoin. And Bitcoin network and everything involving it was designed for it to be that way. And it was understood from the creation. And you could understand this by doing your research and studying that Bitcoin is meant to be slow. It's meant not to transact fast. It's meant to be limited and increase in value based on supply and demand. That's why only so many million will be able to be mined. So it's meant to be controlled in the sense to where it can't be manipulated. And this is key. This is important. And by it remaining on the securest blockchain, that's the original blockchain, which doesn't have any other apps or layers or anything on top of it, that means it will remain the securest. So it's the vault. So Bitcoin will be the securest form, and it will be the most value, in my opinion, because once it runs out, it's done, and they predict that to be around 20, 30, 35 once it's all mined out. And that will increase the value because you won't be able to get any more. So you have to look at it like this. You'll be one, I think, in 21 million Bitcoin total. There'll be, if you had a Bitcoin now, you would be one in that many people that have one. And there's over 7 billion people in the world. So, and there would be demand for it. So imagine the value of it by then. So far as any coins that's going to be a store of value, Bitcoin is always going to be the primary. Now, will other ones be store of values? Like gold is, like I mentioned and keep mentioning gold, and because it's similar to coins, it's a store of value. And silver also, and platinum and so forth. They're not anything, they're not any type of real usage form other than, jewelry and some electronic aspects, but they are the store of value, and people hold on to them, and that's been for thousands of years. You could trade some gold, and I think that will never change. And so Bitcoin, I feel, and other coins associated will be that way. Now, which ones that'll be, in addition to Bitcoin, I'm not exactly sure about. Maybe Ethereum, I doubt it, because Ethereum is more of a platform for other coins and apps to be upgraded and created. So eventually there's going to be an upgrade in the technology, and it will be passed up by something. So Ethereum will be in there for a while, but will it be forever something? I don't know to hold. I'm not sure. But Bitcoin, it will be. So those are the three things that the SEC feel that, the currencies will be used for, with businesses, store values, medium of exchange, and accounting, so forth. And we'll be doing our research and collecting, like I said, information on all of this to give us a hint to maybe what coins to purchase and what to buy. And those will be the things that we'll discuss. And those are the things that I want people to suggest. And that's what we're going to build and grow with together and build on. And hopefully we'll make the right decisions and increase our wealth. So coming up the next couple of days, Thursday and Friday, I'll be doing the first in-depth research into a coin, and I'm gonna do a popular one, and we'll do various ones. And like I said, you pick a coin is the theme for the show. So someone suggested Ripple already. It's one that people know that we talk about, that is already kind of in the mix, and it's got a catchy name. Fred G. Sanford used to drink it all the time. So Ripple is where we'll begin, and I hope that everyone will subscribe and tune in. All right. Thank you. Leave your comments with what you want me to research, and we'll go from there. Thank you.